Good morning. My name is Kiran R, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Department, Srinarayana Institute of Technology, Adu. In this video lecture, we are dealing with the third semester Mechanical Engineering Students course ME 203 Mechanics of Fluids. This is the syllabus for the module 1. In this module, there are mainly two sections. We have to cover mainly two sections of mechanics of fluids. The first section is regarding the properties of fluid. In this section, we will discuss what is a fluid, what is the concept of continuum, and different properties of fluids like density, specific weight, vapor pressure, Newton's laws of viscosity, ideal and real fluid, and what is a Newtonian and what is a non-Newtonian fluid. In the next section, that is fluid statics. In fluid statics, we have to cover mainly two topics. The first one is pressure relationship and the measurement using manometers, and the another section is regarding the buoyancy and the stability of immersing and floating bodies. So these two sections covers the module 1. These are the two reference book that all students can follow, which covers almost all the portions of the syllabus. The first one is Sengel. The author's name is Sengel and the book's name is Fluid Mechanics Fundamentals and Application. The next book is by Mr. R.K. Bensal. The book name is Fluid Mechanics and Machinery. Both the books are very good books, and I recommend all students to download at least the soft copy of both the books for your reference. I have already given the soft copy to some of the students. You can share it with them. Now we will start the topic mechanics of fluids. Mechanics is the branch of science which deals with the influence of forces. You already covered this subject, which means the mechanics subject in your first year curriculum. What is a mechanics? Mechanics is the branch of science which deals with the influence of forces. It is the branch of science which observes the influence of forces on an object. The object may be moving or stationary. If the object is stationary, we will call it as statics. The subject will be statics. If the object is moving, then we will call it as dynamics. So mechanics, the subject is again divided into two subsections, the statics and the dynamics. Statics deals with stationary object under the influence of force. Dynamics deals with a moving object under the influence of force. We are going to discuss the subject fluid mechanics. In fluid mechanics, we are considering the considerable object is fluid. The behavior of fluid at rest we have to study, and the behavior of fluid under motion we have to study. These two sections we have to study in detail. The behavior of fluid at rest is called fluid statics, and the behavior of fluid at motion is called fluid dynamics. The fluid mechanics is further divided into different categories. Means these are some of the advanced courses of fluid mechanics. Fluid mechanics is a fundamental course which leads to advanced level courses in your higher semesters. Some of the higher level courses are mentioned here. Hydrodynamics is one of them. Hydraulics, aerodynamics, gas dynamics, and oceanography, etc. These are the subjects which are in advanced level of fluid mechanics. Next, we have to discuss what is a fluid. Generally, we can say if a substance is in liquid or gaseous phase, then we can call it as a fluid. Every matter which is in liquid or gaseous phase, then it is a fluid. Fluid consists of liquid material as well as gaseous materials. Both the liquid and gaseous materials are called fluid. Now we are considering the fluid in a way of mechanics. In a way of mechanics means what will happen when a force acting on a fluid. That is, we are going to discuss now. Before going to fluid, we will discuss what will happen when a force acts on a solid. If a force is acting on a solid, you can look at the left side figure for analyzing. If a force is acting on the top surface of a rubber block, consider this is a rubber block and two plates are there, one above the rubber and one below the rubber. I am keeping this plate together in tight position and applying a force on parallel direction in the surface, parallel to the surface of the top surface of the rubber. When I apply a force parallel to the surface of rubber, there will be an internal equal and opposite force. This equal and opposite force is called resistive force. This resistive force per unit area is called shear stress. You have already discussed and studied in fluid mechanics what is a shear stress and what is a normal stress. A shear stress is the internal resistive shear force per unit area. What is a shear force? Shear force is the force acting along the surface or parallel to the surface. This force per unit area is called shear stress. Then we will discuss what is a normal stress. Normal stress is defined as it is the normal resistive force, the force acting perpendicular to the surface per unit area is called normal stress. These all topics you already covered in your first semester mechanics subject. Now we are discussing about fluid. I will once again cover the topic. There is a rubber, block of rubber, two plates are there, one above and one below. A parallel force F is applied on the top plate, so there will be a shear force equal and opposite to this force. This shear force per unit area is called shear stress. Now I hope you are clear with this figure. For solids, when we apply a force, there will be a certain deformation. Certain deformation means the change in shape will be limited. The change of the rubber will be limited. The change of shape of the rubber is limited to a limited concern. This is the property of solid. If the same situation is applied for a fluid, if I am applying a shear force on the top layer of the fluid, then the fluid will continuously goes on deforming. That's the property of a fluid. Even a small shear force applied on the top layer of the fluid will cause a continuous deformation. So we can define fluid in that way also. Fluid is a substance which undergoes continuous deformation under a small shear stress. This is another way of describing fluid. Once again I will say what is a fluid in the way of mechanics. We can say that fluid is a substance. If we apply a shear force on fluid, it will go on deforming continuously. That substance is called a fluid. Again, we will discuss some of the applicational areas of fluid mechanics. The first picture is a human body. You all know, in our human body, blood is a fluid. The pumping of blood from our heart to all other organs is an example of, is an application of fluid mechanics. We are breathing air in and out. Air is a fluid. So it is also an application of fluid mechanics. In that way, the another application is natural flows and weather. Means the weather and seasons is an application of fluid mechanics. We know the seasonal changes and the weather are happening due to the pressure variation in the atmosphere. These pressure variation will lead to the flow of air from one region to another region. So it is also an application of fluid mechanics. The another application is automobiles. In automobiles, most probably we are using a liquid propellant, means diesel or petrol, which is a liquid. So it also comes under the application of fluid mechanics. In automobiles, you all know there is power steering. For power steering applications, we are using a fluid for the smooth operation of steering wheel. So it is also an application of fluid mechanics. Disc brakes are there. In disc brakes also, brake fluid is using. So it is an application of fluid mechanics. Another application areas is our power plant systems. In hydroelectric power plants, water is the medium for. The energy stored in the water is converted into electrical energy at the end. So it is also an application areas of fluid mechanics. In steam power plant, the steam is converted. Steam is used to rotate the turbine, which is again converted into electrical energy. So it is also an application areas of fluid mechanics. Another application areas is plumbing and piping systems of our home or any industrial systems. You already know in our homes we are using piping systems. So it is an application areas of fluid mechanics. Industrial applications which uses hydraulic equipments. All the hydraulic equipments comes under the application areas of fluid mechanics. You all know what is an hydraulic equipment. The lifting of car using a hydraulic ram is an application of fluid mechanics using hydraulic machines. Before starting the subject, we are going to discuss two topics. The first topic is no slip condition. What is a no slip condition? Another one is what is a fluid continuum. These topics we have to cover. We will first discuss what is a no slip condition. In the left side of this slide, you can see a figure. The bottom there is a plate is there and a fluid. Suppose it's a water. A water is flowing to this plate. Water is flowing along the surface of this plate. And in the figure, the velocities of fluid layers is mentioned also. Suppose I will explain it clearly. When if the water is flowing through, suppose the water is flowing through this plate, we will divide this fluid into different layers. Different layers of means first layer, this the top down part, suppose this is the lowest part, which is the first layer. Again on the top of it another layer is there, another layer of water is there, again the top of that layer another layer, and it will continue up to the top layer. I will divide the fluid into different layers, that's it. If we are considering the velocity of each layers, we will come to understand that the velocity of the layer which is in contact with the solid surface is 0. This condition is called no slip condition. I repeat, the velocity of the layer of fluid which is in contact with a solid surface will be 0. It is called the no slip condition, and the velocity increases gradually when it moves upwards from the solid surface. On the top of the surface there will be maximum velocity, and when it approaches the solid surface the velocity goes on decreasing, and on the surface of solid plate the velocity of the fluid layer will be 0. So it is called the no slip condition. In the right side there is a velocity profile of a blunt nose. Blunt nose means a nose like solid surface is there, and the velocity profile of the moving air around this blunt nose is shown here. You can see the velocity profile. In the blunt nose surface area the velocity is 0, and the velocity goes on increasing when it moves upwards from this solid surface. This velocity gradient is responsible for the aerodynamic nature of blunt nose, which is one of the application areas of this type solid profiles, which will be discussed later in detail in the further chapters, upcoming chapters. Another one is boundary layer. The flow region adjacent to the wall in which the viscous effects are significant is called the boundary layer. The boundary layer will be more clear when we discuss the viscosity and its effect. After covering that topic, we will again discuss this boundary layer in details. Now you just keep this statement in your mind that the flow region adjacent to the wall in which the viscous effect are significant is called boundary layer, and the property responsible for this non-slip condition is viscosity. These two statements we will discuss after discussing the property viscosity in detail. And now we will cover the types of fluid flow. These are some of the classification. The first one is the internal and external flow, which is a simple classification. If a water is flowing through a closed contour like a pipe or a hole, then we can call it as an internal flow. If the water is flow along a surface or along an open channel, then we can say it as an external flow. Another type of classification is compressible and incompressible flow. In compressible flow, if the density of the fluid is varying, then the flow is called compressible flow. For example, air is a compressible fluid. When we apply pressure on air, the density of the air will goes on increasing. Then we can say the density is changing, so it is a compressible fluid. So again I am saying that compressible fluids are fluids in which their density will change according to the applying pressure or any other property. Incompressible flow are fluids in which their density is constant. Another type of classification is laminar and turbulent flow. In laminar flow, the water or any fluid will flow in layers, and these layers will be in a uniform and parallel nature. Means laminar means laminates, means each layer by layer the fluid is going and the fluid molecules will be behaving in a similar manner or in a common manner. And turbulent means there is no particular direction or direction for turbulent flow. The water or fluid will move rapidly in all direction in the turbulent flow. These topics we will cover in detail in second module of our course. The another classification is natural and forced flow. If a flow is happening naturally, then we can say it as a natural flow. If a flow is induced by an external force, then we can say it as a forced flow. When suppose I am heating a water in a beaker, then the lower part of the beaker containing water, means suppose the water in a beaker, I am heating the water, the lower water molecules will get heat from the heating source, and these water molecules will move upwards, and the cold water in the top surface will move downwards. In this case, we are not applying any force, but there is a flow, continuous flow is happening. So it is an example for natural flow. Means there is no external force applied to the fluid, but also there is flow is happening. Like the example, the hot water from the bottom of the beaker moves upward, and the cold water in the upper side of the beaker moves to downwards. Our weather is also a natural flow. Means the hot air will move to cold region, and the cold air region will move backwards. What is forced flow? Means we are applying a force for the fluid flow. Suppose we are using a pump to flow a water to a reservoir tank. So here we are applying a force using the pump for the fluid motion. So it is an example of forced fluid. Another classification is steady versus unsteady flow. Steady flow is independent of time. There is no variation in properties with respect to time. In unsteady flow, the properties will change according with time. These all classification we will discuss in details in the subsequent modules.